Hello, YouTube. This is a brand new channel, and I'm here to bring you guys a tarot reading on this beautiful full moon night. It's currently January 3rd, 2026, and since it's a new channel, I wanted to start off with a few things I wrote down in my journal. The first thing is just about it all in general, about how I'm not really as traditionally trained as a lot of tarot readers, and it's I'm still learning. I like to learn each day, and then the tarot reflects everything I've learned, since I'm a very if I have to hold on to something for a long time, I'll forget it. So I like to do tarot as my life moves and just translate everything I've observed, everything I've seen through my own experiences and into my own dialect. And maybe some of my words have a lot of mind and ego within them. It's because I'm human. I'm human. And sometimes you just gotta talk about how it relates to you in a way, because that can speak louder to someone who also is not a 100% godly being or whatever, and still has that mind part of us, that logical side, that very animalistic side that exists on Earth in linear time. You can't expect everybody to be timeless and ethereal. And I don't claim to speak for God or any God. I'm speaking for me, from my shared experience of being a human on Earth, and using the cards to emphasize a lot of the things I have to say. I'm on a journey to be free, just like all of you are. If you found this video, I'm really glad that you showed up. I don't know if I'll show my face in these videos. I have other channels, so it's I show my face in those, but I feel with this channel, I didn't want to go by the name I go by on everywhere else, and just disconnect it more. Iris being the name of our actual I, the actual observer. So I'm speaking from as an observer of my own life and this reality. And also Cyrus, the dog star. I love the dog star. Ruff, ruff. I be dogging it up for real. But yeah, and then I have some messages in here about the overall theme of this reading, based on what's happened to me today, just going about my day, things I've noticed. It's really all about the concept of patience, because it's one thing after another just taught me so many times about patience, and specifically the specific concept of putting things down and coming back to them, and that being a very patient journey. And I think it's how people write or create art. You're never just gonna sit there one go and do. I'm someone who kind of does that. I sit down, I do it in one sitting, and if it's not done in that sitting, I forget about it. But I'm trying to learn to be better about that. And so many things in my life, these past 2 days, have really been I was at the tarot store, and there's this deck. I picked it up, and I was almost in tears, and then I put it back, and I picked it up again, and I walked around, and I was no, I'll put it back again, and I picked it up again, and I eventually bought it, because it was I went back to it so many times that it's I finally gave in. And maybe that's a lesson about surrendering to a higher you, because I didn't want to get the deck because I felt it was too high a level for where I was in tarot. And like, I don't have it here today. I didn't feel like I needed to use it for this reading, but like, it was just so interesting to me. And then today, I made a TikTok, and then like, I was trying to post it, and it corrupted while I was about to post it. So I had to redo the whole thing, and I ended up with like a much better result. And these lessons just are so important about the mix of like taking a break, looking back at it, and then going back to it. Like, I used to do art a lot in school, and one thing my teacher taught me is like, while you're painting something, make sure you like step back and just look at it like every now and again. Because sometimes if you're so zoomed in, this applies to life, if you're so zoomed into life, you won't really be able to see like the big picture. And sometimes life is just about the balance of both of those things. Just observing, seeing what's going on, and then making moves based on that observation. A metaphor that I wanted to relate it to kind of relates to the rain cycle. And it kind of plays into a card I drew before this reading. I drew from a deck because I didn't want to bring it down here. I drew from my zodiac deck. And the card that came out was water. I'll hold it up while I'm speaking. Move my journal. So I wanted to talk about like the rain cycle, and how rain is kind of representative of like art, creating art. Like water, it's very related to art, or just the act of like creating and also destroying. Art is pretty layered of an element, but you can't have rain without the water being set down enough for long enough to be evaporated by the sun to become the clouds in the first place. If you just rain all the water, like, it'll eventually get evaporated, but you'll get less rain. But if you're more frequent about it, you look back and like evaporate stuff, and then you create stuff in a balanced way, it's a much more like quick cycle. Like, you don't have to wait as long for the water to boil. Like, you know how, like, if you put more water in a pot, it's gonna take longer to boil than if you have it only filled like a quarter of the way. So life's just about like moving that water in a way that is progressive and like takes advantage of being like in motion, yet still having the time to stand back far enough and long enough to be able to see the fruits of your actions. Because what's the point of working so hard if you don't have time to bask in the sun and enjoy it? What's the point of working your ass off your whole life only to like die before you're retired because you overworked yourself? Take your time. Life is long. Let me show my journal. It's getting snow all over it. And then I'm gonna pull out some cards based on the dreams I had last night. I have like a dream decoder thing, but mostly just, so my dream last night, let's talk about my dream. My dream last night, I worked at my old job at a car wash, but it was in this new location that I moved to, and I was like searching on my phone to find the location because I didn't know where it was, because like it was a new location here, and like I couldn't find it on my phone. So I was just like, I was late for work. I was late for work, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be late for work. Like, I can't make it to my job because the phone's not loading where my job is. And it like it gave me so much anxiety. Like, I woke up so under-rested. Like, I woke up tired after sleeping like 10 hours, and I was like, oh my gosh. It inspired me to like strip down my bed and clean my sheets, because I think I brought some like anxious energy from like a trip I went on yesterday, and I just like this fear of like not getting things done in time and being lost and not knowing where to go just felt really relative to like the patience theme that like I experienced today in like my little micro lessons as I went about my day. And it's like, right now I'm in between jobs. I've been in between jobs for a long time, and like I've been spending all this time in between jobs planning like all of my YouTube channels and everything I want to create, because I've always wanted to be an artist and I want to pursue that. But it's like I still find myself not believing that I can. And like I get scared, and then I don't make stuff, and then it's like I'm never gonna make progress if I'm not making stuff. So I made a resolution to like just try to make one thing a day. Like, I've been doing TikTok, but like one thing a day, just to get the rain moving, get the water evaporating, get other people evaporating my water so that it can rain down again. And like I went to an art museum yesterday, and one of the videos, it was like a 60s exhibit. It was this film by Mike Henderson. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like 7 different versions of him, and he like goes through a door and he comes out and he paints on this thing like what life means to this persona that he's playing. And like the first one was a janitor, and he wrote like work is what matters, and then the next one was like a hippie, and he's like love is what matters. Next one was like a pimp, he said fuck is what matters, or like sex. And then like the fourth, I'm pretty sure he was like, or no, the third one was a prostitute, and then the fourth one was the pimp, he said money. And then the fifth was frick, I totally forgot it. Either way, you guys should go watch it. I'll link it if I can find it on YouTube, because it's a really interesting performance piece, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I was laughing my ass off while I was like sitting there with like the little speaker that you put to your ear and like watch the movie. It's really cool. I love museums. And it was just like, in the end, a version of him came out that was like just him, and he wrote art. He wrote art as like what life means in black. Over all the other ones were written in white. And then he comes in with a black paintbrush and writes art over top of it all. And that really hit so deep for me as an artist, because it's like, I also believe that art is our reason for existing. Art is the documentation and translation of light, or of life, through our own eyes, through these human bodies that we've been graced by whatever force is out there and given to experience life through. We experience life through these bodies. And it's so cool. And like, what we can do with it, like, the universe has a will. It just wants to know like what it's like to be small like us, to be in a body, to be a solid thing that lives in linear time, because the universe doesn't run on linear time. It exists constantly. That's why it splits off into smaller versions of itself, us, so that it can experience itself over and over again. And like, ooh, the dream cards. Life is just so, it's so beautiful, and I feel that like in a world where like AI is coming for us or some shit, like art has never been more important Because if you're just eating AI slop, you're just consuming the machine. Art is the food for the mind. And like, if you're eating like actual junk, you're just gonna feel like you're just gonna be doom scrolling, searching and searching and searching for something fulfilling. It's like eating snow. It's like eating only snow as your diet. Like, you're not really getting any nutrients. If anything, you're just getting bacteria and viruses from these like AI slop that's just made with no soul, no heart. You're just consuming like a bunch of pixels that mean nothing. But like true authentic art means something. It's what inspires people to create. It inspires people to feel that their life is worth living, their life is worth like documenting the experience of. Like, it doesn't, like, posting online, making art, it doesn't matter who's watching, because it's like, it's for you. It's for you to have the chance to exist in a moment and create art, and then just have it as a thing, to take stuff that's inside your body and put it outside, to turn the cloud that is your body and to rain on the earth, so that you can become the sun and evaporate more water, create more water. To piss. But yeah, I love metaphors, so if you're into that kind of thing, you're into just long rambles about these things, like, I'll probably be posting a lot more on this channel, because I love interpreting life. It's like my passion. I love art. So I'm gonna find a random word in my word book. I'll read it for you guys. Far-sighted. That's the word that I've chosen. Far-sighted. And I think that word speaks a lot on perspective and like observing your life and like seeing the bigger picture of it all, or like personally, just like for reference, I'm nearsighted in one eye and farsighted in the other eye. I'm pretty sure it's switched, but I think it flips it on the screen. It doesn't matter. You can't even see my eyes. But it's like having two ways of seeing things for me. Like, my physical ailment of my eyes being bad is like kind of metaphorical for how my body behaves. Like, my nails are painted two different colors because I feel like two separate entities. It's why I'm like non-binary, because it's like divine feminine, divine masculine type shit. But a lot of that goes into like how far into the future you're looking, and how like a nearsighted person, if they didn't have glasses, they'd just be focused on what's in front of them. But a farsighted person who can't really read, can't really see the small things, can't really see the details, is focused on the big picture. Focused on like things that are gonna happen, or things that are far away. Like, those are like the ambitious types that chase like goals, and they think about like they got the 5-year plan, they have things organized. But if you're nearsighted, you're focused on like the present. You're just like, and this is like completely metaphorical for like just how what the words mean. I'm not saying like if you're nearsighted you're this, if you're farsighted this, so that it's all like metaphoric. And like it's really about balancing that. If you're always looking in the future, you're never enjoying the present. This is what I was saying about, like, working so much you don't get to enjoy your retirement. Like, live to live. Enjoy living. Enjoy being alive. But also, have goals that you're working towards. But don't let them consume every waking moment of your life. Or else you're just gonna end up, like, unfulfilled, chasing something more when it's already right in front of you. You're already living what the present moment has to offer. You're just so focused on the future, thinking about the future, that you can't enjoy, like, what is, what's happening, like. But I'm gonna get to the tarot now. I have 2 decks here. One of them's new and one of them's like my ancient first deck. I'm gonna start with my ancient deck. The thing that's special about this deck is that, like, I took it with me on a trip and, like, it was in my bag. It's also missing a few cards, but it was in my bag during that trip that I took on my own. It was my first, like, solo road trip. And, like, I had a notebook next to it that I wrote so much in with, like, pen. And it rained, and the whole bag got soaked. And the ink from the pens bled into these cards. And they're all, like, bent out of shape because they got wet. So they're kind of hard to shuffle. But, like, I love them. I love them. I'm just gonna shuffle them the opposite way because it makes it easier. I'm only gonna do one shuffle. Alright. The card that came out is the 3 of Hearts, or 3 of Swords. Also, the 3 of Spades. So this, I didn't even ask you the question yet. So, when I see this card, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Okay, but first thing when I see this card, I always think of Zoro from One Piece. Because it's the 3 swords. But what's important about this card is the rain. And the heart, the rain. And heart literally has the word art in it. And it's like, you have to puncture it with these words, with these, like, plans, with these thoughts, with these ideas, in order to make it rain. Like, make it rain money-wise, make it rain, like, art-wise. I like to use rain as just a metaphor to me for making art, because when it rains, I always feel so happy. I love the rain. It's so calming. There's chaos outside, there's peace inside. But, like, these swords represent, like, words and thoughts and, like, that logical side of us. And sometimes you have to, like, puncture it through your heart to make it bleed and put it onto the paper. Your blood is like the ink for the art that you create. It's the soul of it. And you have to, like, feel it before you do it. I'm one to have, like, in the past, really struggled with actually making art. The whole reason I went to art college, which I later dropped out of, was to get myself to create art. But I found that by forcing me to do it all the time, by forcing the rain to fall constantly, I just grew, like, so mentally ill, and like I was already mentally ill, but I was, like, pretty sound before I went into it. And then, like, I got into things like drugs and, like just not really making sound decisions. I was moving so fast. It was always raining. It was always chaos. And I was flooded. I was flooded with just so much, like, impulsivity, so much like speed. I was moving so fast that it was just like I didn't have time to enjoy life. And I wrote this metaphor down. It was like, you have to let a seed burrow into the ground first before you water it, or else you risk flooding it and it washing away. And that's how art is. You can't make substantial art from nothing. That's why AI art is lifeless. It doesn't have the nice soil to bury into. It doesn't have like the care and time put into it. It's just mass-produced shit. It's just like waterboarded seeds that somehow managed to grow. Like the talk about AI water consumption is so metaphorical for just like this big metaphor I've been on. It's just like, it's just crazy. I'm gonna turn the light down a little. I've got this little lamp. But yeah, I want to see where we are in our journey right now. What step are we on in the path of life? Beautiful. The 10 of Rods. So this is about like the fire, the drive. It's finally all coming home to Earth, the castle, which is made of rocks. Like all the fire, all the desire, all the passion, all the ambition is finally making its way to reality. And it's like, it's the sun. This is like the card of fire. The rods or wand suit is like, oh, the plane. It's that setting, that rest that had to be done in order to evaporate all the water to consume so much art. And I don't know about you guys, but I spent like all of last year, which was a 9-year by the way, so it's like the end of a cycle. I spent like all of that year consuming art, consuming content, consuming like doom scrolling, which wasn't really like the best, but it was like, hey, the brain needs to eat if it's gonna like make something big. And I feel like this is all of that, like things you consumed about to be planted into earth. The seeds are now finally falling from the sky, the rods. I love how they represent them in this deck as like budding flowers instead of just sticks, because like you can plant these into the ground and they can become trees. They're like saplings. And in a world that feels like it's constantly falling apart, this genuine art, these healthy, loved trees are exactly what we need. And like the Lorax is a good metaphor for that too. Like it's like you fall victim to capitalism and overconsumption and just like making everything like part of the machine. You just get lifeless things where you just have to pay unnecessary things to get basic necessities that should be like free for everyone. And like if you were doom scrolling all of last year, or like have been stuck in this cycle of like consuming, this year one, this year of the fire horse, is so the year to bring all the ideas, all the things you've wanted to do to fruition, to bring all the art that you've been like, oh, I don't have enough time to create, I'd rather be scrolling on my phone, wasting all my time. This is your time to create content that's more hearty, more valuable than the AI slop that's just been infiltrating the internet. We need art now more than ever, because it's just like, it's the food for the mind. And you can't do anything without food. You'll be too tired, you'll be fatigued. But if you consume the right things, curated consumption, like watching your pixelated calories or your art calories in a way, making sure you have a healthy diet of good material to work from, to consume so that you can evaporate it and turn it into the best rainwater, the best art that's ever been made. And year of the, like, it goes into what I was talking about patience earlier, where it's like Lunar New Year isn't till February 17th this year. So January, you're gonna feel a lot of like past stuff come up, a lot of things that like you need to alchemize and just finish off for the year. Because we're still in year of, I think it's I don't know if it's Wood Dragon still. I actually don't remember. I think it's Wood Dragon. But like just like don't rush it. Let it come to you. Like, he's bringing the rods, you know? That's like, this is like your higher self, because he's an old man. Like, all the little characters on here are like you and your soul. He's still bringing them to the castle. Like, Ten of Rods is the completion, but it's still a journey. It's up to you to bring it to Earth in your own time. And if you rush it, you're just going to end up like flooding the plants. So just take your time, move slow, move steady, like the turtle. Slow and steady wins the race type shit. I'll pull one more card from this one, and then I really want to try the new deck I have. My ass is freezing. My ass is freezing. I'm sitting on snow. Alright, I actually guess there's no cards from this one. I'm gonna flip it over and try one more time, see. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it when I did them, but I still pulled them anyways. So we'll see what came out. Oh, okay, the Lover's at the bottom of the deck. Oh. And the Ten of Cups was at the bottom of the deck earlier when I was talking about Ten of Rods. But I didn't mention it. I thought I mentioned it now. Got some good stuff. Because the tarot here is kind of like... So we have the Nine of Swords in reverse, which signifies to me that it's like getting over this deep depression, getting over this like this being overwhelmed by your thoughts, and like the Three of Swords like puncturing the heart, like finally working with them to create like rain. And I guess rain can be seen in a negative connotation as like tears and stuff, but I feel like to me it's always something positive, because every time I cry I always feel so much better afterwards. Like it's like alchemizing without even having to do like writing or anything. Like you can just cry it out and then it just vanishes into like the space between the space. It vanishes, it disappears. And like sometimes if you haven't fully worked it out with your thoughts, it comes back around and you still have to like cry it out again and again. But eventually you'll just have like cried or written and made so much art and done so much stuff that it just like doesn't affect you anymore. And I had like 2 breakups I was getting over. One was really old that I just didn't get over before getting into the next one, And then that one ended, so it was just like, so I had to like, I spent so much time trapped in cycles about these relationships. And I just like stopped focusing on myself. I became so like depressed, I became paranoid, and like I lost my own, the whole reason like I fell in love was because they could remind me of like myself by being like a counter to it. So I could be myself by having someone there to observe me and react to me, which like I didn't really have a lot before. I grew up pretty alone. Like my mom would just yell at me. But like I learned how to like be more of myself by being around people who were themselves and like react, and I could gauge people's reactions instead of going on hypotheticals about how people would react about like me by like watching cartoons and trying to dissect like the relationships between characters and how they connected. And like I realized that it was just like I needed to look in. Like she has her eyes closed because she stopped letting the thoughts and words from the outside affect her. Like she's crying, but she's crying over what's inside and making it not hurt anymore. Turning them into her swords, her tears as her swords to defend her from anyone who is trying to like bring her down. And like tears aren't actually swords, like not crying in a manipulative way, not literally, but like using those tears as like a shield, because it represents like pain that you've worked through enough to feel comfortable with yourself to cry over and to just let it out instead of keeping it trapped inside your mind. And the next few cards we have are really interesting. They came out sideways. They both came out sideways. So it's the Six of Cups and the Devil. And these cards, they literally look so much alike. They both have the symbolism of the twins on the like each side. Like I like to think of these as like Rin and Len Kagami because they're both blonde. But like it's like the twins kind of represent like the divine feminine and like the divine masculine. And like in both of these you see the divine masculine is like looking down, focused on what is, focused on like what's in front of him. And the divine feminine is like looking and watching as this all occurs. And it's like, in a way, it's like the devil, like this fire. In this case, it's not like the relaxingness of the sun. It's being used to punish him by like making him not look ahead, by just forcing him to keep his head down and just work until he like withers away and doesn't enjoy his retirement. And it's like in both of these, this is like the good ending. It's like the bad ending. He's not directly like working, he's watching the flowers grow. But here it's like the devil in contrast. He's like she's the one making the flowers, and he's just holding the pot and watching them. And here he's like being forced down by the sun. He's being evaporated. energy, like, not doing anything. So, like, it's time for the roles to reverse, I'd say. It's time for that divine feminine energy to, like, embrace feminism and to be a girl boss, for real. And just start, like, not being afraid to just do things. Not being afraid to, like, work. Work with an E. Or just create, so that the divine masculine has something to consume, to fuel his work. Because if you're always consuming, like, I'm gonna get into a quick rant about gender roles. I'm gonna make a whole video on this, but I like to look at genders as like positive and negative charge. So it's like divine masculine is positive, it's always work, and the divine feminine is like negative, because it's like absorb, because like they gotta get pregnant and they gotta like make something, so they absorb. Like they make it on the inside. But they're like yin and yang in a way, where it's like the black is positive and like the white is negative, like positive and negative space in art. So on the inside of like all that action is a mind that is like negative and consuming, and on the inside of like that consuming nature on the outside is a mind that creates. And in a way, like the creation from the inside of here echoes as the creation on the outside of here, and vice versa. But personally for me, the reason I identify as non-binary is so that I can exhibit both of these at the same time without worrying about the karmic law of like to suck and to create, and how it echoes between like the outside and inside of my mind. By like putting a term to it, I've brought the positive, like that's on the inside of my yin, because I'd say I'm pretty feminine. Like with how I'm like, I consume a lot. I bring that dot in the middle of the yin as to being a half and half, like a half moon. And it's ironic how it's a full moon tonight, because like the full moon, it's like, oh, it's full, but it's not. There's still a dark side of it. Like a half moon is only a quarter of the sphere being seen. But by being both just like a half sphere of like white and black, it's like you're the whole moon, the whole sphere. You're three-dimensional instead of just two-dimensional, being just a fourth of this whole like divine connection, you know? Like, and sometimes maybe it's like you can get into twin flames and how it manifests as like a physical thing, but like for the sake of this video, this is all internal, and like these are both like divine feminine and divine masculine. It used to just be the divine feminine is like white, and it represents half the sphere, like half the brain, and then the divine masculine is like black, being half the other half of the brain, the left and the right brain. But if you cut them both in half and make them each half black, half white, half black, half white, they become their own, like, they become magnetic, they become polar, just like water, where they can attach to each other, like how particles of water do, without any problems, because water just likes to connect to itself. But yeah, I'll probably post a video, maybe not on this account, maybe on this account, depends how I'm feeling, and like if I categorize it as a more spiritual take or a more like wordy scientific take about connecting gender to the polarities of like an atom. But a lot of stuff, it just all relates to itself, and it's all a big mistranslation between like a lot of things. It's like, oh, Adam, the guy from the Bible, but also Adam, the guy from the particle, and also yada yada yada. Everything's in metaphors, and there's a lot of like, if you're so mind heavy or you're so spirit heavy, like you have trouble. The ego makes it difficult to translate the two. But I feel like everyone should have access to knowledge that's in between both the ego and both just full spiritual. Like, you can't just tell someone something so spiritual and expect them to be able to translate it on their own. You have to have a mix of both in order for it to be like accessible to as many people, to share the journey of life and how to become free and how to like be able to interpret life without being scared or overthinking everything to a point where you're just trapped in your own ego, trapped in your own mind, and not aware of like the vastness and what's going on. You can't just yell at people in like a religious context and be like, this is this because I'm not telling you why. You figure it out. Some people need it explained to them. And like, that's kind of what I want to do with this channel, in a way. Like, I feel like sharing is caring, and I really care about this subject. And like, I had to learn, I had to learn a lot of stuff in my own way. And I think like the way I learned is different than the way a lot of people learned. It's like there's no right or wrong way to do things. There's people that are just so many different paths. So you need different translators for people that are on going through different doors. You know? And anyway, the last two cards that came out, I think they're just like a warning in a way. So you might have an offer coming in that may lead to like some conflict or like you feel you have to defend yourself from. So if offers come in, whether it's like love, work, financial, or like anything, just be wary. Follow your heart. Trust your intuition. If you feel that you're doing the right thing, then just keep going with it. Like, for me, it's like job. The war of employment. There's no functioning society under capitalism where it's like a fair and equal trade. There's so much corruption in the world of money that it's like, it's just kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. They underpay people so much because they're just doing like labor, but like there's people online who like just play Roblox, you know? And life is like Roblox. And like sometimes the people playing Roblox are getting paid more than the people that are doing Roblox in real life. So don't waste your time on things that like don't deserve your energy. Like, let your seed sow and give it time to grow. And that shit rhymed. Okay, so here's my new deck. It's so cool. I saw this one in the tarot store too. But it's called the Once Upon a Time Tarot. And each card relates to like different stories, different fairy tales. And this really relates to me because during my psychosis I had a phase where I was like, oh my gosh, life is like a fairy tale. Like, life is like Princess and the Frog, so I have to kiss the frog in order to like make them turn into a prince. And that's how I lost like a lot of my friend group. But I didn't really explain it too much on like what my mind was thinking and where I was going. But it was kind of like My psychosis was crazy. But I think it just, like, my body did that to, like, get me to do bad things, to cut off these people that weren't really good for me and weren't leading me in the right direction, and just, like, I don't know. I really trusted in spirit when I kind of ruined my life and ended up here. But yeah, we're gonna pull from this deck. Split on the Hierophant. My hands are getting cold because it's cold outside. Split on the High Priestess. Interesting. It's like the number 2 in Roman numerals and like number 5. It's like the High Priestess is when they're like this, and the Hierophant is when they're like this. Like, it's the same figures, but it's like if they're intersecting or not. Kind of like what I was saying about earlier with like the polarities. But I love the full moon. I'll show you guys it at the end of the video. Give me a card. Oh, okay. I need to mention something about this deck. It adds 2 new major arcanas, which is a big reason I got it. This deck was actually used. I got it used. So, like, I cleansed it and stuff, but it's got past energy, like, in the wear of the box and stuff. Like, I don't know. There's another one I was going to buy used, but I decided not to because it felt kind of haunted. But this one had, like, pretty neutral energy. But I'll stop rambling. The 2 cards that it adds is the Road and the Dream. So the Road is about the Wizard of Oz, and it talks about like the journey into the Emerald City by meeting all these different versions, and like the lion, the scarecrow, and the robot are like metaphors for like the mind, like the heart and the body, and like the Tin Man's the mind. The Scarecrow's the... Wait. The Scarecrow wants a mind, and the Tin Man wants a heart. So those are like... They're like the mind and the heart. They want each other. Yowie. And then the lion is like... He's the voice. Oh my gosh. Yowie. And I think about, like, I saw the sequel of Oz, and like the way it ended, spoiler alert, the way it ended was with Galinda still being trapped in like the physical reality, trapped in the Matrix, whereas like Elphaba and Fiero both escaped to like the desert, where all it is just like them and their thoughts. And it's kind of, the desert has been such a big metaphor coming up. And like I'm one who relates to like Galinda. Love me Galinda. Like Ariana Grande has always been like, I get her. all her like character bending that she does when she like changes the way she looks. It's kind of awesome. Either way, the Emerald City is like the green. It's like that heart chakra. Learning to open the bridge between your heart and reality so that they become like the same. And then the next one is the Dream, which is Alice in Wonderland, where it's like she follows the white rabbit, who is time, and it's like he's always scared about being late. Kind of relates to my dream. And he's like, she fell down this rabbit hole, and just like gets transported to this entirely new place. And like it kind of plays into like that idea of like life could be a dream, life could be a dream, bow 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 bow, life could be a dream, and life could take you up in paradise up above, shaboom. Like turning your reality into a dream, like like you sleep to get to that point of being free and being able to like do stuff, but once you kind of like kill that part of you that believes that it can't be possible, life becomes so magical and so like fun, and just it becomes a dream. Like anything can happen when you're not focused on everything falling apart or focused on like running out of time. Time is a big like obstacle in a lot of people's lives, and like I'm pretty young. I'm only 21, and I found that like I've spent my whole life worrying about like not having enough time to do things, so I don't do them at all. Like with art, I would just be so fast, moving so fast that I'm just like, I need to draw as fast as possible, blah 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 blah. Like I wouldn't enjoy life. But once you slow down enough to just absorb things and create things like as it flows and don't fight the current, life becomes a dream. And when you open your heart up to like understanding yourself, like the step before it, it's like life evolves. It becomes more than just the world. That's why these two cards are like the major arcana that come after the world, because the world is just like amalgamation of like the physical and like you becoming and sense in your body and how it exists in physical space in this planet, in this world. Oh my gosh, I heard something. I put my hood down. So I have optimal ears. I'm gonna pull a card and then I'm gonna go inside. The High Priestess. Okay. Yeah, this reading's over.